Hey guys, while making a movie or a biography, it usually comes down to two things. First is the story itself, and the second is how to turn it into a movie. Now, as you must know already, the movie Oppenheimer is actually based on the book The American Prometheus. So the story is pretty well set, but a biography is about depicting a person's life as accurately as possible. And it's more difficult and equally more important when that person is actually one of the most important and popular beings in the history of mankind. When it's one of the most renowned physicists in human history ever, in fact, better known as the father of atomic bomb himself. I'm talking about J. Robert Oppenheimer. Now, he's not only a visionary, genius enough to explore the world beyond, but also a man of several interests and inclinations. So clearly, it's not just the person, but the specific moments, the people in the time, the historic events spanning over 3-4 decades. Concising it all in a 3-hour long movie is in itself a big challenge. On top of that, add the emotional state of the characters, the reasons behind the decisions they made, the state of the world at that time, the whole dilemma of being an explorer, a creator, and at the same time judging your own creation and its impact on the world. I mean, that moment changed the course of history, and there are only a handful of those throughout. But at the time, it's not as easy to see the scope of things. By all means, I feel like even for Nolan, it must have been a challenge. Now, moving on, I believe that the whole thing has been written firsthand as Oppenheimer. It's really beautiful actually, and it did seem like a piece of art. First of all, the casting is just, it couldn't be better. I mean, all the actors, all the characters, it didn't seem like they were acting, but more like contributing. Cillian Murphy is just wonderful. I have seen him enough in the past, and every time I have felt like he's capable of so much more. Also, Downey is just brilliant. I mean, that angst in Strauss, that boiling anger, I can't imagine anyone playing it better than he did. So that was phenomenal. By the way, if you didn't know this already, the colored frames are Oppenheimer's experiences and the black and white ones are Strauss's. That's again another thing brilliantly done by Nolan, because, I mean, you understand that something is complex enough already, so let's go ahead and simplify it a little bit. Also, there is one thing I would like to mention is, in the first act as it starts, it's named Fission, and it's probably because Oppenheimer is being torn apart by the hearing. And not the hearing, but in fact the hearing is more like a reminder of every conflicting decision he ever made in his life, and evidently it is quite painful. And the next act is Strauss's, when it's named Fusion, and it's probably because Oppenheimer is being accused of something he didn't even commit. So yeah, I'm probably reading too much into it, so please let me know what you think about it, guys. Also, people, it doesn't really matter their title, the great honorifics, they're still people. They are flawed and nuanced, and it's actually something to replicate that thing on screen with that kind of intricacy. And who could have done it better than Nolan? Oppenheimer created something that wasn't a mere weapon, but a mode of mass destruction. And the conflicting ideas, never letting your creation come to life versus seeing your creation taking its true form, it can be too much. And that dilemma upon a person, I think Nolan has done a wonderful job portraying it on screen. It is really commendable. And it's not just Oppenheimer, but all the characters around him, not just in his personal life, but his fellow scientists as well. They are all so valuable and make this whole thing come to life so beautifully. I don't know, guys, I can't stress this enough, because it is genuinely a wonderful movie, and if you have time, I think everyone should watch this. I mean, it's not just a good movie. In fact, even if it wasn't real and it wasn't a biography, it would still be an amazing movie. After I finished watching this, there's only one thing that came to my mind, and that is, it's not a movie. It didn't feel like one. I mean, the acting, the practical effects, the characters, the whole creation, it seemed like it's a whole another world, and I have a short window and I can see them through it. I mean, I have watched Nolan before, and this one felt quite different. I'm sure you can say this for all of Nolan's movies, but I've never quite felt this way about a biography before. You know, when it comes to biographies, I've never been much of a fan. In fact, if I remember correctly, the last time I watched a biography was when I watched Chaplin, and I liked it. But this one is quite something. You know, the burden of knowledge, the compulsion to turn it into a reality, the desire to see it manifest, along with the responsibility to make sure that it's used to make the world a better place. You know, I still remember Einstein's words, and it can only be said by someone who has known not just fame, but also the other side of it. The greater the burden, the stronger the man, right? It's a really good movie, guys, and I think you will really like it if you understand what it is. And yeah, it's a really good movie. By the way, the Oscars is coming up, and I'm not gonna say any more. So that's it for this video, guys. If you have watched this movie, let me know your thoughts on it. I would love to have a chat in the comment section. And if you haven't watched it, give it a try. Really, I mean, I implore you. Because this is not just any movie, but a part of history that I think should be known. And the way Nolan has created it, I don't think it could have been any better. So yeah. Again, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.